GoSoutheast.com, joined by Southeast Missouri interim head baseball coach Steve Bieser. And Coach, thanks for taking a few minutes with us. Release the schedule today. Let's talk a little bit about the schedule. Very tough. Have a lot of good teams come in here. Oral Roberts, North Dakota State. You also invited Creighton in. Talk a little bit about the schedule and how really tough it is this year.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenging schedule, and we're excited to play this schedule. When you do the schedule, and you do it a couple years in advance, and you're not quite sure how the teams are going to be at that time, but what we do know is that we're playing programs with a lot of history of baseball, and that we knew that it would be very challenging this year, and that has turned out to be.
Now, Coach, talk a little bit about the non-conference schedule to open up. You go to New Orleans, a team that just moved back to Division I. Then you also welcome two of the best teams in the Summer League, North Dakota State and Oral Roberts. Talk a little bit about opening weekends for the Redhawks.
Yeah, I think for us to get an opportunity to open up down in New Orleans, the goal of that is always to make sure that we go someplace where we can play 3 games. It's going to be a great venue there. I believe they're opening up a new park there. Facilities are outstanding, and the opponent, they haven't been out of Division I for a year or so, and now they're right back into Division I, and I know they do an outstanding job of being able to recruit down in New Orleans. So we know that we're going to be opened up and challenged in our first series, but it actually doesn't get any easier after that. We play the top 2 teams in the Summit League with North Dakota State, who won 40+ games last year, and then Oral Roberts, who's traditionally a powerhouse every single year in Summit. So it will definitely be a challenging opening to the season, but again, that's what we welcome.
Now, a little bit about the midweek schedule. They bring a lot of Missouri Valley teams in, and 2 that were in the Missouri Valley Conference Final. And SIU, we play every year, but then you also bring Creighton in. Then you also go down to Missouri State, who is one of the best pitching staffs in the country last year. Talk about the midweek schedule.
Yeah, our midweek schedule, there's no breaks in our schedule, from conference in the weekend to having our midweek schedule with, like you said, we play a lot of Missouri Valley teams. Missouri State had the best pitching staff in the country. We bring in Creighton, who's been, the last couple of years, just been very solid down the stretch and into the tournament, played very well late in the season. Along with the other schools that we're playing out of the Sun Belt, SIU Carbondale being in the Missouri Valley is just another addition to that tough midweek schedule. But in the Sun Belt, we've got Arkansas State, who's really building a solid program. We get a home-and-home series with them, and it's very challenging midweek. You throw the Mizzous in there, and the other schools that we brought in on midweek. We know that we're going to have a very difficult schedule this year.
How important is that to add Mizzou and SEC school to the schedule?
Well, for us, it's something that I felt is very, we really need to have Mizzou. I would like to play all the Division I schools in the state of Missouri, and that's one of the reasons that we really worked hard to get Mizzou on the schedule. So now we have that. It can help with our recruiting. We expect to be very competitive in the state of Missouri, as well as regionally. And it's going to be exciting to get to play the SEC schools. We want to play the best, and we feel that if we go out and play the best, that it gives us a chance to be right there with everybody else.
Now you also add Memphis to the schedule at the end of the season for a 3-game set up here in Cape Girardeau. How great is that to have Memphis come up here and play the Redhawks?
I think regionally that's very important for us because I think Memphis is a school that we should play year in and year out. And that's something that we were able to pick them up this year, and we're going to do. We're going to return the trip to them the following year. But I think it's very important that Memphis is on our schedule year in year out. It's going to be a very challenging series for us, and that's what we want. We want to play a very competitive schedule to prepare us for our conference tournament, so that we can do bigger and better things.
Now we're talking a little bit about the conference. You got Belmont to the league. They won the Atlantic Sun last year. Made an NCAA Regional appearance. How are they going to really add to the depth of the Ohio Valley Conference?
Well, it's exciting to have a conference that I feel is becoming stronger each and every year. Since I came back in the league in 2010, I feel like each year the conference has definitely got much stronger. With the addition of Belmont and SIU Edwardsville being eligible for postseason play, our conference gets very deep, and it's going to be a challenge to make the conference tournament. And then once you get to the conference tournament, there's going to be some quality opponents there to play the